Path of non-contradiction. Join us each week on Feet to the Fire, a show with the goals of examining a subject matter on its own merits and test how it stands up to the many possibilities found in reality. All without pre-drawn conclusions found in personal bias. No left or right wings here. No pounding the pulpit of ego-driven my way or the highway attitudes. But there are no free passes given either. Answers to questions are important, but equally important is the reasons and methods used to find the answer. The lack of contradiction is the final judge here on Feet to the Fire. Feet. Sunday evenings, 8 to 11 Eastern. Fire. How do you listen? www.feet2fire.com for more information.
The views expressed in the following show are of the host, the guest, and the callers. The content of the following show, its accuracy, authenticity, and the ramifications of the use or application of said content is the responsibility of those speaking and listening, not the broadcast medium.
All right, we are back and we are live. Feet to the Fire. I'm your host, James Arthur Janczyk, or Janczyk, the Black Knight Talk Radio. Boy, I tell you, I've been busy here. We almost weren't live. I'm sweating like a pig. The power went out, and I had the generator that I have running about with that, and the chimney that I have built for the exhaust, the fan burned out, so I had to move the generator to blow it out the garage. What a mess. But the power went back on, and here we are live. It is June 4th, 2017, and holy mackerel. What a week. What a week of stuff. We mentioned that I recorded earlier today a video with Lional Parkinson. He had some ideas. You know, he's been on here with some alternative methods of how to save your savings amidst all the turmoil. He's come up with a pretty clever idea. It's not actually his idea. Somebody else has put these funds together, but he has just kind of figured it out. If you're familiar with the movie The Big Short, I would recommend watching it. But in there, it explains about how this guy came up with a fund to sell the real estate market short, which has never been done before, and he made a pile of money when it crashed. He saw a bubble going, got together this fund, and made a pile of money. And so what has happened since then is, of course, these things have lingered, and Lionel has dug up 4 funds that have paid out tremendously in times of market crash. And right now, because the market is booming to historic levels, the funds are extremely cheap, like $18 a share. And when the market was at its worst, they were worth $100,000 a share. So anyway, there's a standalone video that I will link to that I encourage you to watch. I was going to play it as part of the show. I mean, I could throw it at the end, but I mean, it's there already uploaded. So links are going to be underneath here. They already are already. You go to the YouTube channel, you go to feetthefireradio.com. It's all there, but really recommend you doing it, because if you got a few bucks, you can buy a couple of shares. You can buy 40, you can spend $40, $50, $40, $60 and insure your money. And if the market goes down to the 2008 levels, mind you, let alone worse than that, you know, and the money is, anyway, I'm talking about it. You can watch the video. He goes into it in detail. In fact, his phone the phone actually died. I mean, not like I got to charge it again. It died while we were doing the interview. Luckily, we got about 98% done, and I just wrapped it up. So watch that video. It's going to have, are we doing anything? Okay, the internet's doing fine. Last week, the internet dropped out. It was there just enough to get email and stuff, but not for the live video feed. So I did it anyway and posted it. So for those, maybe if you didn't know, last week we still did the video as if it was live, and it's available on YouTube channel, or you go to feetthefireradio.com. Everything's available there. I'm really trying to focus on it. I put up a couple of articles, and we'll get to that. Might as well get to that. Let's get to that. I put up a couple of articles on the webpage. One is, and some of this stuff, being a weekly show, a lot of this stuff you've already heard of. Some of this stuff was hot just, today and yesterday. London, terrorist attacks and so on. So this is not going to be news to you, but it might have an angle to it. CNN journalist who, and I put this out in the tweet area because they were talking about this guy wrote this article. He gave this tweet, which he called the President of the United States, and I'm going to quote, a piece of shit. This is a CNN journalist. Mainstream journalist. And you're talking about just hostile? I mean, if you want to look at the president being hostile, calling them fake news, which they are, which we will show later on today. Anyway. So this journalist who wrote this tweet in response to the president pointing out, let me just read this. We have a CNN personality imitating a serious-faced, an ISIS Syria face posing with a graphically intense beheaded president. We had that earlier this week with Kathy Griffin and her ridiculous photo, and then her lame apology, making sure she has no makeup on, looking, quote, vulnerable. And then when that didn't work, then she comes out with this gangbuster, I'm being attacked by the president crap. All right, well, CNN took a good day, but they fired her and they distanced them. But it took a while. They were seeing if it would blow over. They were seeing how it would go. They were not sorry about it. They were fine with it. It's just that the response came, okay, well, we're going to have to do something. So now we have the CNN reporter tweeting out that the lawfully elected president of the United States is a piece of shit. I mean, excuse the language, but that's what he said. I have links on the articles that go into more detail on the events and quoting his tweets. Actually, let me see if I can get to the actual tweet here. I'm going to use Breitbart as the basis for it. The president tweeted out, we need to be smart, vigilant, tough. We need the courts to give us our rights back, referring to the travel ban. We need the travel ban as an extra level of safety. And this is what the CNN Risa Aslan wrote. This piece of shit is not just an embarrassment to America, but a stain on the presidency. He's an embarrassment to humanity. Okay, I'm going to tell you, this same guy, oh, I sound like I'm from Chicago now. This same guy, you know what I'm saying? All right, this same guy put out a series. Here's a still shot from it, where he was talking to various obscure or various sects of religion, and this is a group where they actually eat humans, cannibals, where he shared a cooked piece of human brain. Human brain. This is the art. He's calling the president of the United States, who has been duly elected by the people and has been doing a lot of good stuff. Not 100%. I got problems with Syria. He's getting friendly with Saudis. We can go into that, but doing a lot of stuff. Got out of the Paris Accord, which was saved the United States billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, while the other ones pay on. I'll get to that. We'll get to that accord, and he's going to call him that, and he's eating human brain. Hello, people. This is from CNN. And you're going to say that CNN is not hostile? They truly are. Standing up to the, I thought, exaggeration, CNN is ISIS. It is an actual arm of propaganda of an attack against these United States and these people in the United States. It's ridiculous. I do have links, to this event, and I also have links to the various references about how eating humans, one eating their own selves, in particularly brains, which has an issue with prions. You can look up prions and various links there. Also, I have a link. There's an interesting commentary by Lionel Nation on the topic, which he says, good point, don't boycott CNN, advertise, broadcast. Here is CNN, and put a picture of Kathy Griffin with the head of the president and a picture of this guy with his quote, eating human brains. All right. I mean, am I awake? Pinch me. Did I die and go to Hades? Did I move into an alternate universe where I wasn't paying attention? Anyway, and I have friends on Facebook. I've been talking about this with the Griffith thing, and they're like trying to defend it. Well, they had effigies of Barack Obama being hung, which they did for Bush as well. And I'm saying, like, yeah, was it CNN? Was it Fox News? One of their reporters coming up with or coming up with pictures of Barack Obama being beheaded and held up like an ISIS video? Come on. If you're going to come on my pages, you're going to talk to me like that, you're done. You're done. Talk about beheading. It's ridiculous. Anyway, that's one story I want to get to. Let me see if what else I got? Oh, yeah, what else I want to mention? With all this stuff going on, I was watching One American News Network, which is a cable news network, which is what like CNN should be. Maybe it was at some time, but where it should be, where they actually report the news like reporters. And there are comment like shows that are conservative, and they tell you that, right? But the news place itself tells you stuff. I highly recommend it. If you have AT&T Uverse, bam, it's already there. I switched from Uverse to Xfinity because of the terrible internet section I had. Excuse me for doing this show. So I had Xfinity, lost One American News Network, but I, through the Roku app, signed on with cloudtv.com, I'll have the links all at the bottom here, KLOUD and you can watch it on your laptop or your computer, and you could subscribe to that. And there's other channels with it. Or you can get it in the Roku app, which I do, and then so you can watch it right on your television with your Roku streaming app. I highly recommend them. And this tonight, write this down tonight, 11 o'clock Eastern, all right, they're going to have a actual special on the Seth Rich murders. And they've been broadcasting segments, bringing up just the facts. It's so refreshing to see news where they're bringing up these facts and go, hey, how come they're not looking at this? What about this? What about that? I can't recommend these guys enough. One American News Network, that's the webpage. They have YouTube channel, but it's slim pickings compared to watching the network itself. And they're on, as you can see right now, they're on DirecTV on channel 347. If you have that DirecTV, they're on, and I don't remember the channel on AT&T Uverse, and of course you might have to look it up. You go on the network and they'll tell you, I don't know where it is right now, but they'll tell you where you can watch, and you can look up for your own cable channel based on your where you are. So believe me, again, you can get the One American News app through Roku directly, $4.99 a month, or you can go through Cloud TV and get it for $4.99 a month. Plus, you get a couple other things. And on Cloud TV, what you can do is they save the last 2 weeks of the recording. So if you wanted to watch one of these specials and you missed it time-wise, you can go back and watch it. It's like a lot of times you have trouble with, because you can't like have a DVR on your streaming media. Well, here they record 2 weeks, so you can do that. And I guess if you're real good with screen capture, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, you could probably do it that way. So I wanted to mention that. Can't mention it enough in these times of absolute baloney in news coverage. Another thing I want to mention, let's get to the Facebook feed. Let me switch to my Facebook setting. I'm going to get down here. I got a bunch of stuff, so I'm going to scroll back and forth while I remember this. I quoted a lot of stuff on Facebook is real-time stuff, so maybe I'll just go in order instead of trying to go down to find these things. Yeah, let me just go in order. It'd be easier. All right, big news story just breaking. Somebody was at a CNN reporter, was working with the BBC, apparently, doing a, quote, impromptu news story about a Muslim protest about the London Bridge and how the Muslims are going to be targeted. Now, somebody had God bless these people with, their cameras, their phones, and the internet. They uploaded them getting ready to do this spontaneous report, right? And they uploaded the video. Now, it's been tweeted around, and you can see it here. But what I did was I downloaded, before I thought it might disappear, So I downloaded it, and it was on its side. Now, somebody already corrected it. I see they re-uploaded, and I put the Twitter link up there to that one. But I also uploaded it to Facebook as long as it may last. What I did was I turned it back around normal, and I expanded it out to be an HD copy, a higher resolution copy of it, and I compressed the audio so that you could listen to it better. And so, let me just start this. Yeah, I'm going to have to, I want to give you a better copy of it, a better version of it. Let me see if I can find my local copy of it. There it is. Let's see how this works. Let me cut it down just a little bit. I got the most of it there. Here's the reporter. You can see her setting up, and they're getting it all ready, getting these. Here, you stand here. You stand here. You hold this sign. Let me go ahead a little bit. There's another one. Here, you hold it there. Yeah, okay. Get this spontaneous thing going here. Yeah, are we ready yet? Are we ready to do this now? We got them standing in a row? Wait a minute. No, move over a little bit. We can't get a good picture of you. You spontaneous protesters, you. Here they are. Now she's doing her report. You can download this from Facebook. Hashtag fake news. And we got got the whole crew here. Yeah, we got them all lined up. Boy, this spontaneous thing. Now, there's been some updates, and Katie Hopkins put in a formal request of course, people have been doing this. People have been writing, letters and so on. So she wrote to the individual. It appears BBC News used a clip of Muslim protests at the police cordoned around the London Bridge across multiple time slots on Sunday, the 4th of June. It appears this protest was staged and therefore deliberately misleading the viewers. Footage suggests your producers would have been aware of this. Please, can I have a formal comment from you, head of BBC News, and an email for others viewers to express their views on it, and so on. As you will appreciate, North Korea gets their propaganda for free. And then there's a bunch of links on there. And you can see in the tweets, you can follow. I think this was actually, what did I do? I got to go back to where it was. This was actually, I got it, I think it was from Paul Joseph Watson may have passed this along, this response from her. And then I got it directly from her. And Mike Cernovich also did a report on this, and Jack Prosobic. These guys have been really following good. I recommend that for that. So we can talk about fake news. Look at this. Fake news. You're fake. And these people who support all this stuff, shame on you. And if you find fake news on the right, bring it out. I'll put it right up here. This is not a left or right issue. This is about true and reality versus bullshit. All right, I'm a little upset. Let me go down to see a couple other things now. Here's another article. Jack Persebic tweeted this. The graphic. I'm not sure who put the graphic out originally. Here is a graphic, and there's another graphic that was. This is more picturesque, but here's a list of in Europe of all the countries with the risk of terrorists. England, France, Spain, Germany. And yeah, what's this white one? No risk. How do you say no risk? How could you say no risk? There's always a risk, right? No risk. No terrorist attacks. 0. What does this little country have in common? Another fact about this country, 0 refugees. They're being threatened by the newly elected president. I'm glad you guys in France, boy, if you would have elected Le Pen, heaven forbid, right? Glad you were elected the little global boy, because he's threatening Poland with sanctions because he's not taking refugees. And look at there. You know why? Because they're showing them up. They're saying, hey, no refugees, no. So I would think, I would urge President gosh, I got that same bug. Whenever I see a person's face, I can't say their name. It's one of the disclaimers I have. Dyslexia is one disclaimer. Second one, Trump. When I see the face, I can't see the name. I don't know why. Maybe it's a idiot savant or just plain idiot. But I think President Trump should reach out to Poland and high-five them and start doing some business together and stuff, because they got the right approach on this. All right, going back to the account here. There's my the real-time reports I did on this this brain eater and his reports. All right, here's another report. God bless him, President Trump pulled out of the Paris Accord. We'll get to the details more about that. But, everybody, oh my God, the world is going to end. Big news across the world. F you, world, says Donald Trump, and all this garbage, right? From all these neo-Bolshevik countries that are happening in Europe. So, on one hand, they're going, hey, you're saying, on the other hand, they're going, hey, can we work out a deal and get some natural gas for you? Can you work out the ports so I can, we can get the natural gas, which burns into CO2. Now, natural gas is, quote, clean burning, except CO2 is one of the main gases. So water and CO2. But then they're going like, shame on you guys for not doing the Paris Accord. But by the way, pass us the natural gas. You hypocrites, you scum. All right. Now, this is a little, somebody came up to, Tammy Bright came up with this little picture here. Breaking news. There's nothing keeping the other 190 plus countries from going forward and participating in the Paris Climate Treaty. After all, we're just one country, right? Let's see how important real climate trade is to the other countries. The reason why is because, and I got to find this graphic. I got to scroll down. There it is. Stefan Molyneux, another guy I highly recommend, tweeted this out. The Green Climate Fund contributions. United States, $1 billion. Now, that's lost. I just was reading an article going, you can't get that back, but they're not going to put any more in. China, 0. China, in the climate accord, is allowed to pollute for decades. They can have their coal plants have no scrubbers on them. U.S. has got scrubbers. You could practically stick your face in the exhaust. Well, I'm exaggerating, but not much. Russia, 0. India, another big polluter, 0. United States, $1 billion. That's what we've put in so far. So you're talking about Trump is, he's saying, this is a big scam. Not even an issue of global warming. If you actually, and I put links to Stefan Molyneux, has got a great 10-minute or 12-minute, I think, critique on the Paris Accord. He breaks it down using their numbers and breaks it down and says, if we follow your accord using your numbers and everything works just like you say, which is, of course, a lot of problems with that. But let's just say at the end of the decade, $10 trillion from the U.S., and at the end of the program, it goes down like 15 thousandths of a degree or something ridiculous. And that's assuming it does. That's their goal. And, of course, goals are high. They come lower. So you people out there who are sending me stuff, I got friends in Europe. If you're going to keep sending me stuff like, with some anti-Trump stuff, and you're not going to be looking at some of the stuff that's going on here, then don't bother. Don't bother with sending me stuff. It's not like, you're going to close mind. No, I got a mind that thinks. I got brain power. I got logic. I got critical thinking to go, wait a minute. This is not fair. Why is this fair? You're going to write to me? I want to know. You tell me why this is fair. You explain why it's fair that a polluter such as China, which pollutes way more than the United States, and if you're going to criticize Donald Trump, did you listen to what his tweets was? No, I don't listen to his stuff. He says garbage. Yeah? If you listen to it, he would explain exactly why he did it. Not because he's a climate denier or because he's a jerk. It's because he's got a brain and a business brain. He's going, it's not fair for the American taxpayer. What a statement he said. I mean, I got problems with Trump. I'm really upset with Syria. And the neocons are wars people are banging drums. I was hoping by now we'd be high-fiving with Russia and working on ISIS and all this stuff. But the neocons are getting in the way. So look at, I say it like it is. I'm not sitting here just carrying Trump's water. I say, yeah, but boy, he's got a lot of stuff that was good. And this climate thing, great pullout and honest and obvious. And if you're not willing to look at the data, then I got no use for you. I've done answering people and who box me in a box and say, well, I want you to argue this point, but I'll only let you use these data, which it won't have anybody talking against it because, well, of course, they're climate deniers. All right, I'm a little, I guess, animated today, but I'm a little upset. All right, here's another one I want to say. God bless, in retrospect, Malcolm X. Of all the people in the past, in history, in the past, since I've been alive, the 60s and all this, of all the people, if I can bring one back to life, it would be Malcolm X. The guy had it spot on. Obviously, that's why he died. And he probably was killed by the black Muslims because he called them out on the carpet instead of just falling in line, using his skin as we got to stick together. No, the truth, he stood for the truth. He saw bullshit and he said it. And God bless him. I almost get choked up. Whenever I hear truth and someone who stands for truth and dies for truth, he's got my utmost respect. And I, of course, too young and not paying attention at the time to appreciate it, but I've been getting his speeches and listening to him, especially YouTube stuff. Fantastic. Let me read from this one little piece now. The liberal elements of whites are those who have perfected the art of selling themselves to the Negro as a friend of the Negro. Remember, in the 60s, the term was Negro as opposed to black or African American. Getting sympathy of the Negro, getting the allegiance of the Negro, and getting the mind of the Negro, then the Negro sides with the white liberal, and the white liberal used the Negro against the white conservative, so that anything the Negro does is never for his own good, it's never for his own advancement, never for his own progress. He is only a pawn in the hands of the white liberal. The worst enemy that the Negro is the white man that runs around here drooling at the mouth, professing to love Negroes, and calls himself a liberal. And it is following these white liberals that has perpetuated problems that Negroes have. If the Negro wasn't taken, tricked, and deceived by the white liberal, the Negroes would get together and solve our own problems. I don't know. It's like when I hear truth, when I hear somebody that just goes right in there and cuts through all the bullshit, man, does it invigorate me. It's like sacred. Truth is like sacred. And when you hear truth, it's amazing. And it's probably amazing because there's so much baloney in the world that that when you do find truth, it's like It's like eating garbage and then eating something that tastes good. It's absolutely amazing. Now, let me get back to this Paris Accord. I think this is more stats. Yeah, here we go. Here is the signatories' plan to save the planet by building 2,440 new coal plants. China, over 1,000. You can see the list. It's high res. You can see it. I don't have to read it all. Well, there are people listening on the radio, so the bottom line will be 2,011 plants, total countries analyzed. And I don't see U.S. on that list. Oh, that's right. We can't have any. We got to close them. But they can open them. And the U.S. uses advanced scrubbing techniques. So this is the truth. This is the facts with all this stuff. You know, and I want to mention some other issues. There's another little tweet I'm getting. I got 90,000 cargo ships facilitate global. All right, this is not going on the screen right here. 90,000 cargo ships are facilitating global shipping. One Maersk vessel emits 50 million times more pollution than one car annually. So buying domestic when possible helps the planet. So globalism is actually going to pollute more. Hello? You know. So I love these great. And Ian Musk is another knucklehead. He pulls out at his Paris Accord going, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. Well, Ian Musk, he runs the largest Ponzi scheme. Tesla and his gigafactories don't make money, they lose money, and yet they're rated. I don't know what happened to this. I don't know if these stock raters are on crack, but they're taking things like Amazon and this guy who aren't making, and Amazon's starting to finally make profit, but they're still nothing, making Bezos the richest guy in the world over something where the stock isn't covering its own expenditures, barely. Musk is losing money. Because he's got government subsidies, and he comes up with these wild science fiction goals like putting cities on Mars. No wonder he likes the Paris Accord. It's got government subsidies with science fiction goals. So that's my comment to Elon Musk. And here's the link, and I recommend it. I'm not going to play it here now, but I'll put the links down underneath in the video here for the sad truth about the climate accord. Stefan Molyneux did a real good job of going through this. And, let's go back to Kathy Griffin here. Here's Kathy Griffin, the one beheading Trump, when it wasn't politically expedient or advantageous for her to go against him. Here they are hanging out before she was radicalized by ISIS. And this is where I got people replying to me going, hey, what about when Obama was lynched? He wasn't lynched by Fox. He wasn't beheaded by Fox. Give me a break. I put up some graphics. McCain admits, says Putin's a bigger threat than Islamic State. And yet he admits there's no evidence, as everyone else has, on the Russian investigation. Ridiculous stuff. I think I've covered the... Now I'm going to go back and do... let's go back to this global warming stuff. I got some links. Again, I'll put all these links underneath. I don't do it before the show because half the time I'm impromptu going on here and there. People were writing and stuff. Al Gore, when he received his Nobel Prize for his groundbreaking work, Inconvenient Truth, said that the North Pole would be ice-free by 2013. I guess... And by 2013, he is wrong by 920 square miles. In fact, in other posts, the ice cap has actually grown. There it is, expands over 50% in the time he was talking about. I got links there. Another another story here. Climate alarmists have been wrong about virtually everything, and it goes through all the history. Yeah, so that link, I'll put that as well. Let me go back to my YouTube. Because I got all this other side garbage on it. Well, garbage, but info. This is what Trump is. He's a tornado. I love it. I love this Ben Garrison guy. Comes up, he's a tornado, blowing all these people off. And you know what? I don't want to get, I don't want to get all religious here, but it's like I don't have any illusions of the saints of old being, well, saints. We've made them into things that they're not. I have been in the chat room here. So hi to everybody in the chat room on the live chat. I've been just ranting here, so apologize for not looking in there. But I forgot my later. Oh, Ben Garrison. Trump. I don't think the saints of old are. We're all saints. They're regular human beings. They had nice things over the years. They whitewashed them, especially since they don't want anybody to become one without the church's permission. But given people like Malcolm X, of course I'm looking at him now, Martin Luther King, Kennedy, these other, Kennedy's brother, the Kennedys, given how things have been done in the past, and how much upset Trump is causing the world and its attempt to create a new dark age, you would think that he'd be walking through sniper bullets all the time. I don't know the answer. Maybe that's because the way things are nowadays, it's just harder to do that without getting caught or without getting exposed. I don't know the answer, okay? But I do know that there's a lot of hate for him. The left hates him. They hate him like the visceral hate that's coming out is unbelievable. Never seen this. Never seen this. This hate is up to like lynching of the blacks. But those are average people who are wrong, knuckleheads and wrong. This is these are the leadership people now, the ones who are supposed to have risen in education and class and to be standing up for the American people. We're talking about that level of stupidity is now leading our country, or trying to tear down Trump as he tries to lead the country. It's amazing to me. It's beyond amazing to me. I'm looking at this stuff going, huh? I'm amazed now, and I'm 60 years old, so I've been around a while, and to see this stuff, I'm telling you, for people who are 20, this is unprecedented in history. And you can go back looking through YouTube's and try to find stuff, but this is unprecedented. Let me give you another example. I should have posted this, and I forgot. I tweeted it. Back when Ronald Reagan was president, he was an actor. The movie's out. There's a movie called The Killer. In that particular movie, he ends up being killed on the screen. You know why he was president? All of the, quote, liberal networks, all right? ABC, NBC, there was no... they all agreed not to show... It wasn't like they got together and were told this. They all just said it was good taste. They didn't show the movie The Killer while Reagan was president. They waited until after he was president because they thought it was in bad taste to see even the actor who was the president dying on this movie that he made years ago. Now you have the same, quote, mainstream media showing beheadings of the president, calling them pieces of shit. This is what's happened to the media now. You go back in time, and these are true facts that let you know that these people are their enemies. And it's not a left and right. It's not the Republican, Democratic. It's now become, these are neo-Bolsheviks, neo-culture revolution types who went in and brought in the Soviet Russia and brought in a Maoist China. These people are now here in this country starting to do this. And they're in the leadership, they're in Republicans, they're in Democrats, they're in the media, they're in educational institutions are rampant with them. All this ridiculous stuff going on in the education groups. They're churning out new students who, one, don't know how to actually survive in the world, and yet they have this brainwashing about what's going on. So this is what's happening is that we're in a war. Now, I'm not saying you pick up guns and shoot. This is right now. This is an info war, to excuse the pun. And if we can get this stuff out and take them one by one, every event, hammer them, send tweets, emails. If you're in a good position, show up with signs at CNN events or whatever, and hold their feet to the fire. Because this is ridiculous, especially this latest one where they're having this fake Muslim. They got caught red-handed. Videos all over the place. And they're going to have to atone for that. Or not atone, they're going to have to account for it. And they can atone for it by firing everybody. And this garbage brain eater who has this to tweet out. And also I tweeted, I don't have the tweet up. I don't think I posted on Facebook. A lot of times I try to do this so I can keep it easily accessible. But NBC tweeted, when President Trump tweeted about what happened and about he wanted to have the travel ban lifted and so forth, he tweeted that out. NBC News said the president tweeted, but we cannot retweet what he said because it's unsubstantiated. Hello? The president substantiates. I mean, it's an authority figure. He's substantiated. Now, when he's wrong, call him on the carpet for being wrong. But until then, you listen to him. And he said this stuff, and of course, we all know. I'm waiting for their news items that have come up. 12 people have been arrested in terms of the, do I have it here? Yeah. 12 people arrested in connection with the London terror attacks, and I put my little commentary, a little sarcasm. Tonight, 12 white Baptists were arrested. Oh, wait a minute. Now, they haven't come out and identified all of them yet, and so if they are 12 white Baptists, I will go like, hey, there you go. Okay? But I don't know. I think I'm pretty safe in coming up with that. Does it mean there's not white knuckleheads? I mean, look at Dahmer, okay? He's eating people. Oh, well, of course, we do have our CNN guys eating people too. So, let me take that back. I don't know. Maybe things are, Dahmer's dead. He was dead in prison, but I guess we could have had him say, hey, well, I thought it tasted pretty good. What did you think? And there he is. Reza Aslan, brain eater. Having their heads that he galled open his mouth. When do you? Telling you, what I'd like to do is be able to go to CNN and say, I'm not sorry, CNN. I'd like to go to Comcast and go, I know I have Xfinity. When you buy a cable package, it comes with CNN and all these others, they're getting a piece of the money. Not only are they getting ratings when you watch them to their sponsors, but when they get bundled in to Xfinity, they're getting a little piece. So when you're paying your cable bill, say you're paying, I don't know what you're paying, $60, $80, $100, whatever your cable bill is, a piece of that is going to CNN. I want to be able to go up and say, I don't want them on here. I don't want $1 of my stuff going to them. So if somebody can write to me, if there's some format to do that, I would like to know that, because it's garbage. They're garbage. And up until this latest stuff, I was not happy with them, and I thought when they came out with this beheading thing, and then they took very long, and then they did these perfunctory, well, we're going to have to distance ourselves. They're not sorry. And she's not sorry, and then now she's going out saying that she was bullied. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Again, some of this stuff, oh yeah, well, I'll get to that. Get to that in a minute. I got to remind me. Let me go back to that beheading. Yeah. First off, there's a video of her, and I got links to this. I'll put all this down. Kathy Griffin was scolding Elizabeth Hasselbeck to respect the office of the presidents when they were criticizing Obama. Okay, this is the same person who. Then she goes out and says in a previous videos that she is actually gunning. This was back in 2016. She was gunning for the president and gunning for Barron. Nothing is off bounds. All right, this is her talking back then about this. So. This is the YouTube time machine. I love it. YouTube is the greatest invention to the internet since the internet. Having these people caught And, of course, the mainstream won't bring this stuff up, so it's up to us. And thank God for One American News. I cannot push them enough. I mean, I'm obviously not getting any kind of compensation for it. I'm saying it because it's a real deal. It's good. Now, let me... yeah. I want to make sure. Yeah, here's another tweet from this winner. She gets her Emmy Award, and she says, a lot of people come up here and thank Jesus for this award. I want to let you know that no one had less to do with this award than Jesus. She went on to say, suck it, Jesus. This is my God from now on. Now, nowhere do I say anyone has to, thank Jesus for their awards. In fact, I agree in most cases, a lot of that stuff has nothing to do with Jesus because it takes acting in the flesh and compromise usually to get any kind of award. So, but this is the kind of visceral that's in the background there. So when she comes up with her little makeupless apology, and then when that doesn't work, then the real visceral hate comes out. And this is visceral hate that's coming out. No other words for it. Oh, here we go. Nancy Pelosi, that staunch example of a Christian ethics, says Trump dishonored God by walking away from the Paris Accord. And I got the links to that there. Here's my comment. I cannot speak for God, but I would venture a guess that breaking up unborn children into pieces and selling the body parts would be worse. You know, and I put that in a tweet, and someone actually had the gall to say, no, it isn't. So, anyway, there we go. You know what's important is that we talk about getting these people unelected. You got to remember, you want to run candidates that run against him that are going to be good. You don't want to, in the case of John McCain, have a liberal pro-ISIS Democrat instead of McCain. You want to have somebody run on the Republican ticket or independent ticket that will actually do right. So, one thing is it's getting them tossed out. That's another thing, getting them elected. Now, I got some less visible coming up here, but I got a few more things I'd like to talk about. Here's the emergency plan that has been come out with. I'm not getting the whole graphic now. Oh, here we go. Is it coming through on my little... Maybe I'll switch views here. There we go. Emergency terrorist plan. Tearful cartoons. Facebook filter. I'm helping. Crying on TV. Lighting up buildings. Candlelight vigils. Bring in more refugees. Those who call to stop it are bigots, racists, haters, and so forth. Wait for the next attack. Repeat. Do nothing. This is the current plan that people have on there, and of course, in the spreading lies that they say, and we're not saying go down and start beating up Muslims. Of course not. Go after the ones who are the bad ones. And every time you hear about this, they go, oh, this guy was on a known list. Well, I know they can't read the future, but if you stop letting these people in because they're problematic, these people weren't wonderful people until all of a sudden, because of the evil, racist bigots, these people were then driven to do this stuff. How ridiculous. Arguments. Just ridiculous. So let me see if I got any more, if I got all this stuff covered. Now, I do want to say, WikiLeaks did come up with a nice point. The Saudi people, now this is the one thing that I'm worried about with Trump. He's buddy with the Saudis, and they have been shown support for terrorists, and they threatened the UK in this report, in this part by WikiLeaks. They threatened the UK with more terrorist attacks unless they worked with them on selling them arms. So, if Trump wants to deal with terrorism, Saudis are an example. Now, I don't know. Maybe he's playing this so-called 10-dimensional chess, and that he's working to expose stuff in the Saudis. But he's doing wonderful on experiencing people from the influx of illegal aliens is down tremendously rate. even without a wall. And also the roundup of pedophiles is in the thousands now since Trump got elected. And of course, that's great news, too. Let me change this and see if I have any special news coming in here I would need to report. Okay, I got a zillion tweets here, which I can't obviously go through live while I'm doing it here. Looking if there's anything. A lot of people responding to my eating brains tweet. So, all right, let me think. Let me look back. Let me look back to make sure I covered my own. Well, let me mention about this too. A page. Here's the link. I'll have the link below. This is Lionel Parkinson talking about this EFT, electronic transfer funds, that to insure your cash. Very important. And I will be putting together a show on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going up dramatically. And I know people are arguing about government interference in the transfer of Bitcoin potentially in the future and all that. I'll have a show put together on it. But for the price of some of these coins now, it's worth throwing in some money into it. Already I bought, squeezed out of my bills a Bitcoin, and it's almost doubled in value just from a couple weeks ago. I don't know, it's $800 up or something. And that's actually not, like 50%. And analysts are talking about it going up into anywhere up to 100,000 or more because they're looking at it possibly being the quote T-bill, unquote, of the future. And these are all speculative, but I want to bring this up. Let me make sure that I covered everything. Okay, so let's go to Less Visible and get his report. I have not watched it yet. As I do with most of Less Visible stuff, what I do is I watch it with you. So there's no censoring here on him. And I will put out the audio version both of the show and his. I just have to remember to do it. Because it's back to the mill grind to work tomorrow. Okay. And if I have anything that comes up afterwards, I'll come in after less and continue on.
Hello! Welcome! Good day, my friends. Welcome to Dogpaw Transmitting and our serial outpost, Consulate of Good Conscience for the Arcturian Brotherhood and the Sirius Cluster. Today I'm going to share with you a secret, a great secret made great because it is true, and that is this. If you want anything to be true, you need only to believe it firmly and consistently. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Yeah. Do not allow any doubt to enter into the equation. Accept it as a certitude, like the sun being in the sky, the grass being green, for whatever the reasons may be, the grass is green. The changing of the seasons, whatever verities, veritudes, whatever the case may be, are those things you depend upon for continuity and for always being around, and for some reason, due to that, seem to indicate a continuance of permanence and therefore a sense of reality. Take it for granted the way you do anything that you have great physical proof of. And if I tell myself there's a God and I allow for no possibility otherwise, and it is true, it will prove itself to me. This is so even with things that might not be previously true or even known in a particular matter previously, existence will sort it out. It'll take it into manifestation, it'll make it as real as it can make it, if only for you. In some cases, this is so. Some number of people are considered insane because of this and are capable of yet the most amazing deeds and are not insane at all. The truth is that most of the world is operating at some level of insanity. Constant repetition of ordinary behavior as a protection against having to recognize that there are many things that are not ordinary at all is insane. Well, most people wouldn't think so. So you live in a collective of individuals who are all crazy to some degree or another, but who, as I've explained here many times before, because of consistency in their behavior and a dependability upon their various neuroses and psychoses repeating themselves in a predictable manner, make it seem as if, well, hey, this is how it's supposed to be, this is okay, and this does not mean that it is okay. Sometimes plants and things and people can look perfectly healthy and not be at all. I live in a world of diverse insanities. Some of them are pathological, where people are simply bent in one direction or another in any variety of the schizophrenias or paranoias or obsessive compulsivenesses or whatever these various things are. And they all have titles and they all have names and types and, you know, whatever it is that they are. And some people's crazinesses are noticeable. And but they handle it somehow too, and so I guess it's okay. Maybe they're considered eccentric, I don't know. Some are very dangerous, even if whatever there is going on in their affected minds is imaginary. That doesn't make them any less dangerous. Some is much more widespread than most imagine because it reflects in their own behavior, and they're crazy too. It's like a town filled with people whose behavior patterns match up with such a great similarity to one another's that, well, it all seems very normal. But it isn't. Now, I am certainly no icon of sanity, but I think, could be wrong, I think I'm more sane than most people because I know for a fact there's a God. I celebrate the fact there is a God. I seek to serve that God. And God is that only reality. And reality has a lot to do with sanity. And recognizing reality as what is really real in terms of what is really reality, and that would be God, I would think would make one more sane than anyone else. But this is precisely the kind of thing that makes you seem insane to other people. Because they have made deals with materialism, you see. The world's greatest insanity is materialism. And everywhere you go, there are people that are captured in it at one level or another, and they all agree upon the needs and necessities of material existence and all the things they have to do to stay within the protected, or rather, shall we call it, accepted confines of materialism. And how it all works out for them, I don't know. Maybe it works out for them, maybe it doesn't. Most people, it works out for more or less. For a lot of people, it didn't work out at all. And for some few, it works out a great deal. Now, there are now a bunch of new crazies. They're not really new crazies. They've been around for a long time, but they are multiplying to the point where, you know, it's kind of an epidemic craziness. They're religious crazies, and these cover a wide spectrum. They go hand in hand with political crazy and greed and power crazy. And now we have terrorism as a constant and ongoing condition. Now, most of this terrorism is manufactured. It's not exactly the sort of thing that you're told it is, which is a bunch of people like insane about certain religious proclamations, and they figure they got to carry this out through some kind of jihad or one thing or another. No, these are people that are being manipulated psychologically and by other means to behave in a certain manner. Be way behind the scenes. You know, political power and greed junkies, and they have their external agents who work, you know, within the dynamics of the physical sphere, and they are the ones who manipulate and operate the individuals who go around and perform these various crazy acts. Some of these people are programmed in order to do these things, and they're like time bombs. They're set to go off at a certain point. Some of them are actually deliberately and directly programmed in places like MK Ultra, Tavistock, and whatever new situations like this they've come up with. And, well, every kind of insanity in the world that exists has to do with misidentifying the material world and seeing it at some level of relative importance and sacrificing one's spirituality in support of materialism. This goes for religion just as well. And when things get to their most crazy point, that's when materialism is getting to its greatest height. And then religion itself becomes an expression of materialism, which is truly crazy, because it's exactly what it's not. But then religion, that's, I don't know, I have no use for religion anyway. Probably shouldn't really talk about it. I've studied it a great deal. There are some very interesting things said there that I agree with. But personally, I like to stick with the spiritual aspect of things, which is one-on-one, me and God. That's it, direct. I like to get it directly, me and God. I speak to God, God speaks to me. It used to be he might take a while to answer me, or sometimes he would just answer me through events and such, but not direct conversation. Now he actually talks to me, or his agent does, I should say. And of this I'm absolutely and certainly and absolutely and completely convinced. And I consider myself extremely lucky for this reason. Now, a lot of people, for them, materialism is a very, very important thing for only one reason, because it makes them look more powerful, more important, and more successful than everyone else. And I speak specifically of celebrities. For many celebrities pursue celebrity for celebrity's own sake. They don't necessarily have any talent. You take people like Ariana Grande or a bunch of these people, they make her in a vat underground beneath the Rand Disney Corporation laboratories. They make these Ariana Grandes and these Justin Biebers and these the rest of these freaks, Britney Spears types and the rest. They make them, I think, in these vats. And then they release them through their various vehicles, Nickelodeon, whatever the case may be. And then they matriculate them through various stages, and then they all run around all pert and wonderful like little Barbie dolls that don't have a brain in their head, which they do not. And there they are to entertain you. And now Ariana Grande, the great humanitarian that she is going over and putting on some big broadcaster for the Manchester staged terrorism event, which she wants us very much to know that she's doing this. Yes, she's a wonderful person, and her real concern is for all these people. Certainly not all about Ariana Grande. My God, is there every time she's not looking in the mirror? Yeah, when she's looking at other people, because she certainly never sees herself. There are, well, I don't know. It's hard for me to say really at this point. There are some things coming up now, my friends, and I don't really know how to explain or express to you exactly what it is that's coming, because I myself don't know. But this I have to tell you, and with all importance, you must put this very firmly in your mind. As I say, most of the terrorism is being orchestrated behind the scenes by these power brokers who work through their paid agents, who then work through it, comes down the ladder. And they have all the appearances of power, they got all the money, they got the bigger guns, they got the bigger influence, political influence, religious influence, they got the law and how they choose to employ it, in whatever fashion they choose to employ it. And for the one thing that they don't recognize, and that unfortunately for many of us do not recognize, is that there is a God, and God is real, and God is all-powerful, and cannot be opposed. And anything that happens in this world, no matter what it is, God has got his hand in it and working it towards the fulfillment of his will according to how he wishes to do it. And all of the way that his will is choosing to express itself is in bringing us back into an awareness of what is real. And for a lot of us, this can be very painful because of our attachment to what is not real. And the greater our attachment to what is not real, as we're being pulled away from it, either by experiences or by insights or sudden transformations within our brain we can't understand and might scare the living, whatever you want to call it, out of you. There you go. Try not to make it hard on yourself and let go of the real, unreal, the unreal now. And accept that only one thing is real, and that is God, that God resides in you. And the closer you can get to God reflecting in you and moving through you, and you getting out of the way and God expressing through you. And how does God do that? Through God's qualities: charity, compassion, understanding, dignity, honor. There's just so many. Love, mercy. These are all qualities of God. Pick the one you like the best and operate most exclusively through it, or pick them all. but pray to have them bestowed upon you and be given an opportunity to actualize them in your life and to use them. Or the alternative. Well, this is the truth, and you better get your hearts and your minds around it. And there is no opposing the will of the Almighty. It cannot be done. However it turns out for you by ignoring the power and will of the one, that will be a matter of degree. The degree to which you are attached to what is unreal, and the separation or distance between you and what is real and what is required to snap you back into place. Please try to make the effort ahead of time for yourself and throw yourself upon the mercy of the Almighty, who will then immediately, because you have done so, take it upon himself to make those changes that are necessary in order to bring you as easily and with as little pain and suffering as possible back to where you truly belong. Without the ineffable, there is no truth. There is no life enduring. There is no reality. And the love of the ineffable, it passes understanding and can accomplish everything. Bury and immerse yourself in it. My friends, I haven't been doing all that well lately, and I know I mentioned it once or twice. Don't worry about it. My life is in God's hands, and I hate to create any of that concern. I know some of you love me, and hopefully I'll learn to love myself at some point too, and then we'll all be in the same ballpark. But I'm getting much better now. I'm feeling much better, and I don't exactly know what the whole situation is, and I may find out more in time coming. Whatever it is, it's God's will, and it's what it should be, and so then we shall see where that goes. Look, my friends, go somewhere quiet and talk to the Almighty. Be sure to let him know that you know he is real and in command of all things, and you'll be checking in at every opportunity with him, and ask him to please remind you at every opportunity that there is for you to remember, and be reminded that there is an ineffable. Love and worship this ineffable. Allow it to express and manifest in you, and you will have no further problems in this life except those that are set there to teach you how to become free of problems. All right, my friends, we've come to the end of yet, one more broadcast, and I'll see you next week if there is one. That said, Om Amitabha, Hail Lord Jesus Christ, Hare Krishna, Bismillah, Irrahman, Irrahim, Nitam Ambu, Guru Bawa. Much love, Lady Nature. Greetings, my good friend, Lord Ganesh. And if I've forgotten anyone, I keep trying to remember these things without having to read them anymore, then please forgive me, and I will find out, and I'll remind you again. And carry on, as I say, Ba'ula, Aloha, and Dog Boy transmitting in and out. God bless you.
Strong and tall and slender, and has got a walking stick. You'll be changed forever.
All right, Les, let me...
If you get hit by it.
Excuse me. I can't do that and hit the cough button. I just want to close one more thing that I had come up here on my... This was put out by Poll. I like that interesting stuff they got going on there. Here's a list of all the hashtags since January of 2015. I guess the hashtags aren't working. I guess carry on like you normally do isn't working. And I would guess something has to be done. And it looks like you're going to have to vote out your leaders because they're idiots. And, actually, they're not idiots. They know exactly what they're doing. They are the enemy. They are the Bolsheviks, the neo-Bolsheviks, that are coming in to ruin your country. And so we have to take that back. And as Kojak would say, like that there. All right, well, that is a show, a broadcast. We'll be back next week. And things are happening so fast. I mean, I wish I could just do this, all day. and all the stuff coming on. It's amazing. But back to the mill grind. But please remember this video to watch afterwards. I mean, if you don't watch it now, you know what I'm saying, but please get this link and watch it, because for, you know, $18.89, you get a share that used to be $100,000 in the last crash. To try and have your savings. It's a little insurance policy, and I thank Lionel for coming on out of his own time. He makes no money on this. He has no need to share this. Whether anybody does it or not, don't matter. But he sees these things and he's passing them on to people. So thank him for that. And thank you for listening. If you could like this video and pass it around and subscribe and so forth, because whenever that happens, things become, people think with more subscribers and more likes, oh, this must be actually mean something. So I've been doing this for my 15th year, but I've been doing audio, and I didn't really market along this stuff. So I'd appreciate if people pass the word around. And I guess what we'll do is we'll leave it there, and I will see you next week. And I'm hoping to get a Bitcoin crypto show up soon, because we need some questions about that. So between the cryptos and Lionel stuff, this is where I think the safety is going to be in the near future. So with that being said, we will see you next week.